What's up, guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the podcast. We won! Woohoo! I'm joined by Harry, of course. Harry, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. First win in
Fucking ages. And I'm also joined by two other special things. For those guys that follow me on my more personal social media, I got some tattoos done last week. The first one, I have a permanent date reminder of a game we lost to Leicester. It's brilliant. That's my little brother's first game underneath mine. And then second of all, you can already see it. Those inclined, I have a cockerel on the inside arm, but it actually really hurts as I'm pulling it out because it's still healing and actually completely non-Spurs related. But I got a little message my little brother wrote me for Christmas there. You can see how sunburned I am. Oh my god!
Is a Fast and Furious one on there as well?
Yeah, that's the one that's on the outside of my arm. I love how Harry remembered from last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, look how red my arm is. Fuck. Anyway, let's get to the podcast. Let me guys know what you think. If you've got a Spurs tattoo, next to my Wallace and Gromit ones. Oh, that hurt. If you guys have got a Spurs tattoo, you can see my two Spurs tattoos. He actually touched this one up in a couple of places because it faded a little bit. But yeah, if you guys have Spurs tattoos, let me know where you got it. Anyway, let's start this episode. Spurs sink Southampton. They are gone. Listen, I knew they were going to go. I think everyone knew they were going to go. But my God, they've been embarrassing this season. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily the players because I don't think they've got the quality. I think it's the fact that the owners got the summer completely wrong. You know, I couldn't tell you one marquee player they signed.
That Derby team was around that finished on 12 points.
Yeah,
11. I can't be watching a team that's
potentially worse than that. They need 2 more points to be better than them between now and the end of the season. I don't see where they get it from. They're playing Leicester. That's the only advantage they've got. And Leicester currently, we record this on Monday, as always. Leicester are
20 points.
They're currently 3-0 down to Newcastle at home. So, you know, it's going to be a fucking 0-0.
I don't know. Geordie's top 4.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, do you know what, right? Nothing to write home about. Cool professional performance. We did enough to win. That was it. I must say, Brendan Johnson's first finish, I think was brilliant. Don't get me wrong, there was no one tracking him at all, but the actual finish itself was really, really good. His second one, again, the instinct and the quality of the finish. We've said this all season with him. It's so annoying because when the ball comes in from the left, if he's tucked in, he will create a chance, right? He will cause teams problems. What I don't understand is why he's constantly starting all the way out wide when it's clear that in and around the 18-yard box, he could probably complement someone like Dom Solanke really well. Again, another player that I think...
Is why people are advocating stuff like 3-5-2 and play Johnson as a second striker of Solanke, for example. Because if he played in that little pocket where Dele Alli used to play, he could do bits. Probably. Yeah. I don't think Johnson's the best player.
He's not, but he's done well this season. Was he creeping on to 30 goal contributions in all competitions?
I'm not going to take him out for scoring goals, you know. Yeah. But as he's not a winger, I don't think he's a winger.
No, I don't think he's a winger, no. And I think the longer this season's gone on, the more we've realised that he's not a winger, you know.
I didn't think he ever was. I mean, I watched him before. I
don't think he was. I thought Bergvall played well. I thought his goal was really, really unlucky to be ruled out. I'm not going to lie, right? I'm not going to lie. Yeah. How the hell are you taking, 4.5 minutes to make that decision?
Mate, I went to the toilet and I came back. I was waiting. I was I can't be asked to sit and wait. I'm going to go for a piss.
That's mental.
This is what I do now. Whenever the VAR comes on, because I went to Chelsea midweek as well.
Yeah.
There was 2 VAR decisions. Now, I sat in the Chelsea end because my mate is a Chelsea fan who got me a ticket. Yeah. And they always seen someone, they called Andrew Wank. It was really funny. And I was like, I agree with you. But they know I was Tottenham. I was just I agree with you. And they were slagging Romero because, Romero was a bit of an idiot on Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
Thursday as well. But I don't know. But what I'm saying is...
The fact that you can go for a piss and come back and the decision is embarrassing.
They made those decisions on Thursday against Chelsea. 10 minutes. 2 big decisions they gave away. Disallowed goals.
It's embarrassing.
That's 12 minutes at a time. But I was why is it taking so long? I don't understand.
I do think the one on Wednesday, because I completely forgot we played Chelsea on Thursday. Sorry, Thursday, not Wednesday. I do think the one that was given as a foul from Sar's finish was unbelievable, but I do think it was given as a foul correctly in the end.
Do you think it should have been on?
Yeah, I think it was. No, I think.
Some people
I think in slow motion you probably say yes. In real time, I think a yellow card is probably a fair decision.
Okay, yes and no, but some people treat it as though he got booked for the dive and not the foul. But I don't know. I'm
No, I
confused.
think he got booked for the foul. I think he's one of them that's closer to a red than it is to a yellow, but there's not enough intent in it for being a red, yeah. And
I don't think
we will talk a little bit about...
like his side of his knee. I just think it was...
I think it's purely unintentional. We'll talk about Southampton then. I want to talk about the end of the Chelsea game as opposed to the game itself. But in the Southampton game, I think, like I say, I think we did enough. Poor team, poor squad, poor quality. Glad to see Ramsdale relegated for the third time. Like I say, I think Brennan Johnson was a really positive outlook. I think Bergvall played quite well. Other than that, don't think Spence's ball for the first goal was really, really good quality. And one thing I'd say with him that we've really benefited from Udogi's inconsistency in terms of fitness is the fact that Spencer's played a lot on the left. He's getting a lot better at just crossing it on his left foot. I think whoever comes in next season is going to benefit from that massively because it's going to give us a lot of versatility with him. I thought his work rate was good all game. Other than that, I don't really feel like there were any standouts. Right, I'm going to give my two, Peneth, and then I'll hear yours. So, from what I've read, the players have designated a penalty order.
I was talking about Tell now.
Yeah, the players have designated a penalty order. Romero, as the most senior player on the pitch, enforced that order rather than just saying the game situation has changed, someone else take it. The fact that Brennan Johnson showed the maturity level to respect that decision shows me about him a lot as a character and as a person.
Put my phone on the charger. Give me a second. You carry on. Sorry, I'm still having to put my phone on the charger.
No, your screen's gone.
No, I'm still here. Can you still hear me? My screen. No, I put it off camera just for a minute to put my phone on the charger.
Oh, it's fine. I'll wait and I'll edit it. It's fine.
Yeah, just like a second. It's almost 6%. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah. I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really shows a level of maturity that Brendan Johnson's got, and the way he handled the beef before the commentary staff and the way he reacted to the fans. He just took himself aside, sorted himself out, came back. And I must say, do you know what? Like I say, when he's not being used as a winger, he's probably been one of our better performers this season. You know, almost 30 goal contributions in all competitions. If I'd have offered you that at the start of the season, you'd have probably, especially with how badly we'd played, you'd have probably taken that.
Yeah.
You know?
I just think he's one of those players where I think unless you play this system tailored to him, like we did with Delhi, let's be honest, with Delhi, we did that. I don't think you're going to get the best out of him. I just think this season, because we play the same sort of goal, right? It's always the same sort of goal. Yeah. It helps him because that's where he's.
That's right. Yeah, and
that's his pocket, basically.
Yeah. Whereas you look at someone like Solanke.
I think he's an amazing player. I don't
think so. But he's been effective this season. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah. Whereas you compare it to Solanke, he's literally running. He's sheerly exhausted because he's been told just to run. When he does get that chance, he's half a yard off it, and rightly so because he's knackered.
Also, with Ange's system, and this is my friend Elijah on stream, explains this really well. I didn't notice this till he told me this. All the players are involved in the build-up. So if you see Solanke, even on against Southampton, he was deep, running back, dropping the ball off to one of the midfielders and run. And then at the same time, he had to be told to run back up. It's just insane. I
can't wait to see so much more from him next season when we're not playing fucking suicide.
I think he's fit right now, anyway. For me, he's not fair.
No, I don't think so. And it doesn't help. Like I said, he's been asked to run constantly every minute of every game. Like it's sheer exhaustion. I thought Bergvall, considering it took 45 minutes to fucking decide it wasn't a goal, I thought his finish was really good, actually, to be fair. Really instinctive. And I would say that if we compare him to back when we were talking about it back in sort of end of September, beginning of October, we said he looks a little bit lightweight, wasn't clinical enough with his decision-making, and he needed to bulk up, strengthen up, become a bit more athletic, and just be a bit more forward-thinking. He's really improved on all those aspects, and he's one of those players that I think if we get the right manager next season, he is going to hit absolute heights because there's so much raw talent there. I'm kind of glad that he's not being run into the ground because what I wouldn't want is to get to next season, be carrying an injury to the end of the season, get to next season, and then have a new manager and he starts, half a yard off it. I hope he's one of those players that starts his pre-season a week or two early himself in the gym at home, and I think he will be. He strikes me as that kind of character, and he's one of those players that I think we both had concerns about his long-term future at Tottenham and whether he could be suitable for the long term. I think he really has proven that he can be one of those players. And what I love the most about him as well is he's not afraid to play a risky pass. He will drive forward with the ball, but if he sees a potential opening, he'll play that pass. If the ball's given away, he will sprint back to win the ball back. And this is one thing we said when there was that discussion around just before Christmas about him being played as a 6. One of the reasons that conversation started was because of how many times he was running back and getting the ball back, not just from his misplaced passes, but from other players' misplaced passes as well. And I think there's so much to come from him. So I'm really excited to see.
I think the whole team would benefit from an actual number 6. To be honest,
I think that will come with the new manager. I think
I'm saying that as in if Berger had an experienced head alongside him, obviously he's gonna go, but like Højbjerg or someone like that, like a proper number 6 to shield the defence and let him just do what he wants to do.
Someone like a Wanyama would have been perfect to play with someone like him.
Yeah, it's a dream. But then maybe he'll grow even more. But it's even I watch him in this system, I'm just I'm not too sure what his function is.
I don't think that's his fault. I don't think that's his fault.
Anyway, but he's a ball carrier when I watch him.
I'd agree.
I've still not seen anything amazing. But he's only 20, so
there's so much to come from him. I think
because he could turn into a running number 10 or just a box-to-box player. I don't know, but he's definitely not a defensive midfielder.
No, he's not. No, but what I'm saying is his work rate to get back and win the ball back when he's tried those risky passes is what started that conversation in the first place.
Yeah,
So I think we've seen a lot more from him this season than what we probably both expected.
Acclimatized to the Premier League actually better than Gray, in my opinion. I know it's probably unpopular.
I think that's harsh with Gray because he's been played here, there, and everywhere, whereas Bergwaj's actually been played in his natural position.
I know, but that's kind of understandable, I guess. Then, but with Gray, what I give credit him for is, unlike a lot of modern players, he'll play whatever he gets told. A lot of modern players just kick up a fuss. I don't want to play here. Even though I don't think he's the best player, he does not kick up a fuss at all.
This is what annoys me the most is Southampton was a perfect opportunity to give Gray minutes in the 6. Yeah. I don't understand it. I think maybe Bentancur has been played there because of the new contract rumours. I don't know if you've seen the leaked photos about it. Supposedly they're waiting until after the European game to announce it.
I've heard about this.
It's clear that it's going to be Gray, Bentancur, and Basuma is going to be the one that moved on. And we both said we haven't got a problem with that.
It's kind of obvious.
Yeah. But for me, that was a perfect opportunity to play Gray. And I think Gray and Bergvall can develop such a strong partnership with the right manager.
For me, even if you play Gray and Bergvall, you need some real proper big experience of playing the 6 behind him. Because, especially for the early years, if you're going to play Gray in the
to be fair, if you're playing Gray in the 6, then maybe you don't. Maybe you just need an 8. You just need someone kind of the best way to describe it, someone of Sissoko's physique with the experience and maturity, not even necessarily that. It's kind of, can't believe I'm going to say this, but a kind of Yaya Toure build type player, a player who's not going to do the legwork, but he's got the experience to aid the two around.
Yeah, to shield them.
Realistically, Maddison, we should be sitting here saying, as one of the most experienced players, Maddison could be that maturity in midfield because Bergvall's got.
I don't think he's the player for it though.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't think he's the. I personally would sell Maddison in the summer, and we're going to do a keep low to sell again at the end of the season.
Maybe when we get knocked out,
we'll do that because the Premier League content will be downhill from there. But it's so frustrating because there are so many little positives to take with individual players. But I don't think that's credit down to Andrew. I think that's credit down to the individual player's mentality. When you sit there and talk about Gray, when you sit there and talk about Spence, when you sit there and talk about Bergvall, when you sit there and talk about Brennan Johnson's positives, all of these positives are based on the player's attitude and the player's ability to push themselves. Exactly. And this is what makes me think under the right manager, there is a lot of potential with the squad. We do need those polished up players to help push it to more consistency, but there is so much raw talent in this squad, and the mindset of so many of these players is top draw. I just think they need those one or two cogs in between to help keep them in line a little bit and keep them on the right track. What else was I going to say from Southampton?
What's his name? Are we going to talk about this?
Yes, we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about Wolves. Let me just check see if there's any other pointers from the Southampton game. We'll talk quickly just about the protest. Shout out to Jay.
I'll tell you anyway.
Absolutely fantastic, mate. The numbers, they look like double than what it was last time.
By the way, I have. If anyone is watching this podcast, sorry, I'm not shouting out my own channel, by the way. Here, go to Spurs Asian TV. I was doing a live stream straight to his channel from the protest. And you can see, because I did obviously I was in the crowd, of course, right, shout and leave you out. And then I did a side view, then I did a front view, because also I wanted to get everything.
Yeah.
So I was live streaming it for an hour. So if you go on his stream, you can see.
It looked crazy. It looked like it was twice as much as last time.
To be honest with you, I don't put down on it. It was basically the same numbers in my opinion, but I think it was more what's the word? Banners, more that was a lot better, I thought, this time. We have to take positives out of everything, but I still don't think there was more people than last time, in my opinion. Anyway,
I was just going by what I saw. That was all. But again, it's still a positive. It's still a And the funny thing is, so me and my mate got into an argument the other day. Right, he's going to hate me for saying this. Me and my mate got into an argument when we went to London a couple of weeks ago. We went to London on Monday, did a bit of shopping, had some cocktails, had lunch, whatever, and we went to where did we go to? We went somewhere near the Arsenal ground, unfortunately, and we were arguing on the train because I was talking to him about the protest and saying how there's talk of doing a protest at a non-footballing event. And the main one being Beyonce, and he's going to Beyonce with his sister, right? Yeah. And he was saying how because there's this massive thing going on in America. Don't ask me to fully explain it because I don't really understand it. But there's this massive thing going on in America where she only gets given the racial categories for musical awards and not the top level rewards. And supposedly her fans are accusing the American music industry of being racist, right? And he was saying that if we protest a Beyonce concert, it's not going to be about the owners, it's going to be about her as a black woman. Because what you got to think as well, right? That's the way America and the music media will spin it. Exactly. And it'll be about the fact that we don't want her playing at the stadium, we don't want anyone playing at the stadium. And it's going to make this person sound like to be racist. He was like, I don't want to be going to the stadium and then see you 2 meters down, fucking levy out banners, whatever. He was like, I get why you're protesting, but he just kind of wants it to be someone else. And I hope if we do and not, I actually think the Chris Brown concert makes more sense, given the allegations that he's had against him. It makes more sense to target those concerts.
Because more people will support that, I think. Yeah,
because we're not just targeting.
Plus, Beyonce's had how many concerts at Tottenham? Have you seen the list?
Yeah, it's mental. See, that's what he was saying to me. We don't want to. The minute someone can find a way to take a negative turn on this protesting, it can really do damage. So I hope Jay and
we're not protesting against Beyonce.
No, but that's the argument I made. But he said, regardless, that's not how the American music media are going to take it. They're going to take it as a strong, black, powerful woman is going to your concert. And but I kind of.
It has nothing to do with Beyonce. This is just the fact.
But this is what I'm saying, though. If you're looking at it from the outside and you're not a Tottenham fan and you don't understand the Premier League, you don't understand football, unless someone explains it to you, you're not going to come to that conclusion.
It would be quite funny though if we went to one together, Beyonce protest, because someone from my work loves Beyonce. She would probably go, and she was seen walking around with a fucking banner like this.
Yeah, so he said to me, he was like,
"What are you doing here?"
We got into a massive argument. We got into a massive argument about it, and I threatened to go home. And in the end, we sorted it out. Went clothes shopping, and then we went to cocktails and whatever.
You got over it eventually.
Yeah, but because I said to him that, why is your right to a peaceful concert more important than my right to protest? And
but we're not going to protest within the concert. It's literally outside.
Well, that's what I said to him, and then he said, "Well, yeah, but how about if you were trying to go to a Tottenham game and there were a bunch of activists sat outside and you couldn't get into the ground?" And I was like, "Yeah, but the ground's built in a way." Well, this is the thing: the ground's built in a way, and it's policed in a way that's not possible.
Mate, they even put. I don't know if you saw the video.
I saw the banners and the blockades and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, completely bothered by it.
Can Beyonce?
Yeah, that's why I was getting into it, because I saw
Yeah.
that clip of the Can Beyonce Black Friday, and I sent it to him, and he rolled his eyes and then went on a massive rant at the barbecue on Saturday.
Really?
So
Mate,
that's why I brought it up.
The guy started, I was standing next to him when he started singing it. It was so funny, man.
Mate, unreal, honestly, unreal.
Like,
listen,
anyway.
if she can cross better than Son, play her on the left wing, do you know what I mean? On to sort of going backwards then, on to the ending of Thursday.
Oh my God.
What an arrogant cunt. What an arrogant cunt. I don't care what he says, just quickly, I don't care what he says, right? He was cupping the fans because he thought he was counteracting the fact that fans disagree with this decision, and he thought he got it right. Only to have it chalked off anyway.
Yeah.
We lost, big man. We lost. My guy, we lost. Whose ears are you cupping?
But I think the problem with Angiet, and I think it started from last season with the Man City game, like he's been pushing himself further and further away from the fans. His behaviour. And I just think he had the Man City debacle, obviously, and he argued with that fan. Remember, there was that fan behind him saying lose. That was like the start of it, I think. And then slowly over the season, there's little other tiffs. Like, you've seen some videos after the games and fans said to him stuff, and he's
the thing that's annoyed me the most is, even though I saw issues with his playing style, I appreciated his character enough to keep backing him. But he's lost me as a fan who was still backing him up until a couple of weeks ago.
No one said, "Don't know what you're doing." I met one of the people who was at the game and said that. He goes, "I started the chant." He goes to me. Anyway, his son went to my school. It's a long story. It's like the YouTube community. He's part of the YouTube community. And he goes, "I was the one who said you don't know what you're doing." And he took a video of Ange as well. Like when he's cutting his ear. Like he's got a video of it. But like I was there and I could hear, like, even though I was sitting in the Chelsea end, I could see what was going on. Like the fans weren't happy. Then he was trying to give it back. But what I'm saying is that as a manager, he should have, after the City thing, he should have just like decided not to react to like fans, because the problem is that he has to realise that you're representing the club, you're representing the fans in some ways, because you're managing the club that they support. You can't, even if you disagree with the fans, right? You can't give it back to them because you're on social media. Like, we're not in 2000. Did
you? Right? I know you don't really watch his post-match interviews. Did you see his interview with Sky after the Chelsea game?
I heard about it.
Mate, disgusting. Genuinely disgusting. Like, genuinely, I was embarrassed for the way he acted about it.
I'm embarrassed because he's fucking Greek and I'm Greek. Like, it's just like.
But it's not even that for me. It's the way he made it out like it was the fans' fault.
Yeah.
Big man, you lost. Like, for me personally, right? Obviously, you were there. Bergvall should never have been taken off. I wouldn't have taken on about personally.
I'm different. I was of the opinion that I would have started Sars to the Bergvall personally, but when you're at that point in the game when you're losing, you kind of have to leave Bergvall on.
Yeah, like, he was one of the only players trying to make something happen. Yeah. Every time we got to Chelsea's end, he was the one picking up the pace. He was the one running. He was the one trying to. We spoke a few minutes ago about his desire to track back if he plays a risky pass and loses the ball. He was the only one trying to play a risky pass. Everyone else was left to right, to left to right. Rock, goodbye, baby, on the front of Chelsea's defence. Mate, it's embarrassing. Rock the ball right across the box. Don't ever take a shot because we might score a goal.
The first 45 seconds of the game, right? So I'm out there and I'm with my mate. I go to him, watch, look at that highlight. 45 seconds later, they played the ball over the top.
Mate, if Jackson had half a ball sack.
And then like, there was one instance where he had the possession. My mate goes, "Well, looks like you guys got possession." Yeah. I go to him, "Watch, we'll lose it now." 2 seconds later, we lost the pass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you took on one of the only players. It reminded me, not necessarily the fans' reaction, but
the Lucas Moura thing. Yeah. I was at that game. Like, that was worse.
You said that like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but I'm not on about the hostility. I'm on about the decision making. Yeah. One of the only players that's playing well for us, and he's taking him off. But yeah, I think he's going to be the rod that breaks his own back, I feel. And for all the Levy shit, it's so frustrating because he could have really been a great manager to go, this is what happens when you invest in a manager. But he's just become so unlikable. He's completely, I did a TikTok on it after the Chelsea game. It's completely unparalleled to how he was when he first came in. When he first came in, he was a breath of fresh air. He was energetic. He was whatever. He's just hostile. He's just passive-aggressive and hostile. and it's really, really annoying. And I want a manager that I can like. And throughout the years, even when we played badly, we've always had managers, obviously Martin Yol a bit before my time, but you spoke about him before, Harry Redknapp, Mauricio Pochettino, Jose for us, Conte for the most part, even to an extent like Nuno. Like, no one had a problem with Nuno. He just wasn't good enough. Like, I don't, the only manager that I've actively, like, there's only two managers really in my lifetime that I actively remember that I've actively hated, and that's Tim Sherwood and AVB.
Oh, I didn't hate AVB.
The reason why I hated AVB was because the amount of times we got bad to shit teams and then have to go to school the next day. It was horrible.
Okay, fair enough.
But, you know what I mean? Other than that, I can't ever say I've hated a Tottenham manager. But Ange, this guy makes me rage. It's just so...
I saw your tweets and I was like...
Mate, I was livid.
Yeah, I didn't know about it because obviously I was there, right? I could see a bit of it, but I couldn't tell what was going on.
Go back and find
and then I went on the train, right? And I got back at like midnight, but I went on the train and I started flicking through Twitter and then like Ange cupped his ear and just like, and I was like, when I saw the clip, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, I can't believe he did it. Honestly, mate, I can't believe he actually did it.
Find it. My best one was not convinced Ange knows what a derby is. If you can't get players up for a derby, you never can get them up. Jackson is bullying us. That would piss me off. So that was also the pub. So what else did I tweet?
Oh, that's who that was. Oh, you know that Lily White Rose guy?
Yeah.
I think I saw him at the protest, but I didn't clock it was him. I just realised now.
Should have been Madison off and better forwards. Lol. To think I like to be a star as well, become so unlikable the last 12 months. The unjustified arrogance of this man. Exposed back interview was quite actually pathetic. What an overgrown child. The question he asked were completely fine. Mate, I was livid. Listen, and I feel bad for that reporter because do you know the worst one? Oh my God, I think I mentioned it last week actually, but the worst one, he was asked to expand on a point he'd made in a private interview he'd done. And he was like, go and watch the interview. I'll give all the information. Well, evidently not to the if you do an interview that's 20 minutes long, and I go, Harry, can you expand on that point you made at 2 minutes into your interview, please? And you go, no, I think I said enough. Well, if I'm asking the question, that means I don't think you have. So I'm asking for an explanation. I'm the one asking the question. Stop being a dickhead. Your job is to sit there and answer fucking questions. Like, why are we shit? Why are we in a relegation? Well, we almost in a relegation battle. Why are we 16th? Easy top three. 16th. Great meme.
We're 13th, I think now, actually, I checked. But that's good. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's just a fucking joke. He's embarrassing. He's seriously embarrassing. He's seriously embarrassing. And listen, I can't wait to.
He has no respect for the fans. That's what I think, anyway.
I reckon even if we win the Europa League, I reckon he dips at the end of the season.
By himself?
Yeah.
If it's a massive if still. Though.
Because then he can win it and he can go, fuck you, I did one and you lot couldn't. See ya. And that way he's not there for the aftermath.
I want it. Look.
Yeah, he's not there for the aftermath then of it all going downhill and getting actually really
I don't know what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to last the season still, but anyway.
No, I think the minute we're out against Frankfurt, he'll get sacked. But anyway, talking about Wolves then on Sunday. What time are we playing Sunday? I'm working Sunday.
It's at 2 o'clock.
Oh, great.
Anyway. It's not on TV, I checked. I'm not confident because Wolves need points to stay up.
Are we home or away?
Away.
Oof.
And we'll probably...
yeah, we're going to lose.
We've got Frankfurt on the Thursday.
I think we'll lose 3-0.
Wow. I'm saying 2-0.
Listen, the reason why I'm saying that is because Wolves have played quite well recently. I think Cooney is back for that game with a bit of a point to prove after being suspended. And also, I think when they play West Ham, they're probably unlucky not to score a bit more. And right now, we're not exactly much better than West Ham, are we? So.
They won their last game. Wolves, am I wrong? I think got like 32 points now, don't they, or something?
Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, they beat Ipswich, but they've won 3 out of their last 3. And in fact, they're unbeaten in the last 5.
they're probably going to beat us then, aren't they?
The last time they lost was to Fulham at home. And they were unlucky to lose by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0. We're going to get mauled by the Wolves. Just quickly, before we finish talking about Wolves' prediction. So did you agree with Romero's decision to step in and honour the penalty order that was pre-set out?
Oh, as in Rattel before Johnson.
Did you agree with that decision? Because I think that's Romero showing his leadership, which is what you want from a leader. Brendan Johnson showed his maturity to respect the decision. I feel like every party really benefits from that.
I don't know how to say it, basically. I think Johnson should have taken a penalty personally.
But do you think if that's the order, Romero stepping in and honouring that predetermined order is the right thing to do?
What's his job really to do it, I guess. He didn't really do anything else for the rest of the game, so.
Okay, fair enough. Because I remember asking that. I can't remember what we said after. Right, Wolves. Yeah, I'm going 3-0 Wolves. I think we're going to be absolutely bad.
Not much difference. He's going to rest players, isn't he, anyway, so.
Yeah, you think it'd be suicidal for him not to, really.
Like, we've got Frankfurt, especially if we don't do that well in the first leg. Like,
I'd be chucking all the kids out for that game.
I would, but he won't. He'll still not play great at 6. He'll play someone else.
Yeah.
I think he'll rest a lot of players that day. He'll probably like 7 changes or something. But I don't know if Kulusevski's back. Is he back?
No.
We're done. He's done, basically.
I think he'll be back for the semi-final second leg if we make it that far.
Oh, shit. I didn't realise he was out that long.
I think so. Let me have a look.
That's not really
give me a ginger. I don't know why I started out with a random most of that. Expected return late April. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to see him till...
His birthday's 25th of April. This guy's a lot younger than I thought he was, you know.
He looks quite mature, that's why I think. Like, he looks really mature.
10 goals, 10 assists in the league this season.
That's really good.
In all competitions this season, 10 goals, 10 assists in 42 games. That's not bad.
But, I think he was playing in the red zone for like a month for us already.
Yeah, he struggled for a bit, didn't he? Fitness, he's been literally dragged into the ground. I think we'll struggle. To be honest. It's tough this stage of the season because there's not really a lot to talk about, but there's still enough to play for that there's not enough to talk about, if that makes sense.
If he's going to do that, play Mikey Moore, play Oluseyi, play Ajayi, play players like this, or Rossi, players like this.
Yeah.
But you know what he'll do? He'll put like Johnson and Tell and...
It's so annoying because he probably could have been a real benefit for us if it wasn't the thing that he needed to survive his job.
Yeah, we could have used it as a... Yeah.
We were getting the job done in most league games by 60th minute, 75th minute. We could have brought on so many players.
Yeah, I think you should have done that a lot earlier in the season. But anyway.
Yeah. Such is life.
Oh, well.
It's hard to sit there, and I remember at one point these episodes were like 2 hours long, and it's hard to sit there.
It's going out with a whimper, basically.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about. Like, we're out of everything apart from the Europa League, and then the league is kind of moot because
46.50 an hour, 46.50 an hour, and then
right now it's 35 almost.
And then it goes 2 hours 25, an hour and 45, an hour and 15, 2 hours 28, 50 minutes, 51 minutes, an hour and 41, an hour and 35, an hour and 45, an hour and 10, an hour, or 2 hours, an hour and 10, an hour and 20, an hour and 5, an hour and 15, an hour and 14. Even going back, for our first one this season, 50 minutes. This is the shortest. They just got shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. It's not the end of the world, though, but it's been good to sit here and talk about Spurs and what. Well, it hasn't really, to be fair, because we're shit. But, there's not really a lot to say, really, else, is there? Just got to wait and see. The next episode after this one that you guys will see will be Nottingham Forest preview. Nottingham Forest preview. Might be going to the game with Harry, might not. And then the week after, we'll be talking about the European game because that's the week I come back. Yeah, because that's that. We'll talk about the tie. Sorry, the tie. I'm already predetermined that video is going to be called "The European Dream Is Over." You know.
Well, I guess we'll find out a bit more, obviously, this Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to take my little brother to the pub and watch the second leg as well because I'm in Southampton visiting him that week, so it's all good. But yeah, that's about it, really, isn't it? Like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. I like the lack of 5-star performances that we're putting this season. And we'll catch you next week. Come on, you Spurs!
Spurs.